We've all heard that you need an accountability partner, right? Something to hold you accountable for your actions when it comes to fitness, to make sure you're staying on track with your nutrition, to make sure you're staying on track with your workouts. And what does that really look like? Do you have to have someone in person? Is it necessary to hit your goals? We're talking about that and more in today's episode 135. So strap in and let's go.
I've always been that skinny guy.
Why can't I gain muscle mass?
What do I do in the gym?
They said I'd always be skinny.
This is your complete source for how to gain lean muscle and break out of your skinny body. From nutrition to getting the most out of your workouts and everything in between. We know just how frustrating gaining muscle mass can be, but don't worry, we've got you covered. You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast. Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Bryan. I will be your host today. And if you're a first-time listener, welcome to the show. I'm glad you found us. Super excited to have you here. If you are a return listener, thank you for coming back. That means a lot to me because I know you have a lot of different choices out there of podcasts to listen to. And so the fact that you're taking the time out of your day to listen to this, it does mean the world to me. So I appreciate it. All right, so I have some exciting news. Guess what? I want to stay in touch with you now over text. That's right, over text. You can text podcast to 706-222-7551. And basically what that's going to do is every week I send out a few different texts, and they could be health, fitness tips, just, hey, what's going on today? And it is me. It's not a computer on the other end of this. This is me responding, me sending them out. And it's just a great way that I get to stay connected with you because that's what I love to do. So again, text podcast to 706-222-7551. All right, with that being said, let's dive into today's episode. You know, going at this alone can be difficult. You may work out by yourself. You may work out with a workout partner. I have rarely ever had a workout partner. And I'm not saying that that's a good thing. That's just kind of the way it's always been for me. There have been times in and out where I've had people that work out with me. There's an element to having someone work out with you that is greatly beneficial. And also there's a side to it that can make it a little more difficult. And here is kind of the pros and cons of it. For working out with someone, you have someone there to spot you, you have someone there to motivate you, you can push each other and help each other accomplish goals. So it's a great thing for that aspect. The downside to it is sometimes when, let's say, one person is sick or one person can't make it, then you're more likely to also quit and not do it that day. So, and also you can get distracted by talking and other things in the gym. So there's, with everything, there's a give and take, right? Does that mean you shouldn't? Absolutely not. I think having an accountability partner or workout partner is a great thing to have. But don't get discouraged if you don't have that, because I get it. It's hard to find sometimes like-minded people to share your journey with you, because if someone else is not taking steps to change their fitness, level, then it can be very, very hard to understand kind of what you're going through. And it can lead to frustration on our part when there's people around us that don't understand why we're doing what we're doing. When they say, oh, you're fine, just, eat the cake, you'll be okay, you can work it off tomorrow, or you can take a break from the gym today. And it's very easy to slip into that more and more when you have people that not necessarily are negative around you, they just don't understand the journey. And so they're not supporting what you're doing. Stay strong. My biggest recommendation is still to find a group of people that you can be yourself around, that you can share in your successes, you can share your failures with, and really talk through these things, because it's super important to have. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to look like having a workout partner, because like I said, I don't even have one, but it could be, a friend that maybe has gone through some fitness stuff, or maybe just is a great listener, someone you can just kind of lend an ear to, like, hey, I'm struggling today. Or someone that you can rely on to approach and be like, hey, you know what? I'm starting off on this journey. It'd be super helpful to have someone just to kind of keep me accountable. Will you be that person that I can call when I'm struggling and you encourage me to keep going? Or maybe it's getting plugged in. We have a great group on Facebook that you can get plugged into. It's nothing but people encouraging each other and motivating each other to keep going. Just search Bones to Bulk on Facebook for that. But my point in all this is, regardless of what the accountability aspect looks like, whether it is someone in person, whether it's a friend you call up, whether it's someone online, whether it's a Facebook group, whatever it is, find something that will help keep you going and motivated and staying strong. because it can be a very lonely process doing this alone. It really can. And I don't say that to be negative. I don't say that to be down, but I don't like to sugarcoat things and say everything's going to be fine when sometimes, you know what, we need someone to give us a kick in the butt. In all honesty, there's been times when I've gone through stages in my fitness and you're not there. You know, you're not there mentally, you're not there physically. 2019 is a great example of that. You know, everybody's like 2020 is a terrible year. For me, 2019 was a really rough year physically for me. I ended 2019. I had several injuries last year. I got super sick last year. And I ended the year just being in a bad place physically. I really did. At least, you know, in what my expectation for myself is. I wasn't lifting as heavy. I wasn't working out as often. And I had dropped some mass. And so just the combination of things, they played havoc on me. And what it did is it made me realize I don't ever want to end a year feeling like this again. And so I started 2020 off with, I will be in the best shape of my life in 2020. And so far, that has been the case for real. Like, I don't think I've ever felt as good as I feel right now. And believe me, I'm not saying that I've arrived or that I have it together, because there's a lot of areas I still fail in. And that's okay. You don't have to always succeed in everything. You're going to have failures. You're going to have times when you fall flat on your face. And yes, it sucks, but we can either stay there and wallow in it, or we can get up and be like, well, that sucked. What can I do to make this better? And move forward with a game plan. You know, all too often we get consumed with the end goal. Well, I've got to get to this weight, or I've got to get to this 1 rep max, or whatever it may be. And when we don't hit it, it can be devastating to us mentally, because we're like, well, I failed in that, so I probably just can't make it. But you've got to count your small wins. You know, maybe you didn't reach the goal, but maybe your goal was to work out 6 days a week. And maybe you worked out 3 or 4 times a week for the last several months. Guess what? You still worked out 3 to 4 times a week. Like, count your victories. Don't shove them under the carpet because they're not this pinnacle that you wanted to reach. You still made forward progress. You still decided to get out of bed when you wanted to sleep and go work out. You still made the decision to not go out and eat the crappy meal at the restaurant and instead stay home and eat the healthy meal. You made the commitment to, you know, whatever it is. Count those as victories. You know, don't just focus on, it's important to look at the losses and the negative things that happen because we can learn from them and improve upon them, but we don't need to dwell on them and be consumed by them because they don't define us. Screwing up and having a cheat meal or a cheat day or a cheat week, that doesn't define your fitness. Like, it doesn't. Missing a gym day doesn't define who you are as a fitness person. They're small things. And while I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive to be consistent with things, we should, but we've got to allow ourselves grace, because if we don't, then guilt sets in, and then we just feel worse about it, and then that makes us all the less likely to continue to do it, and it's just this downward spiral from there. So don't be afraid to celebrate your victories. Celebrate the small wins. Find someone to keep you accountable, whether it's in person, whether it's that friend, whether it's, somebody you meet at the gym. You know, like, if you're friends with someone at the gym, like, hey, can I exchange numbers with you? And if you don't see me in here for a couple of days, will you just shoot me a text? There's nothing wrong with asking that. People crave community. Like, if coronavirus has taught us anything, being in isolation, people crave being around other people to converse and communicate. Find someone, something. And if you just have nobody, I'm telling you, head on over to the Facebook group, join it, search Bones to Bulk. It's a great place to get plugged in. All right, with that being said, remember, no matter what obstacles stand in your way, you can hit any fitness goal you set your mind to. You've got this.